removing these people and this noise at the bottom of the hill while I'm trying to build. Just give me stronger shoulders, give me stronger hands to keep building, because that's always going to be there. That's the enemy, and that's life.
At first, it sounded like grief. Then the statements started changing. Then the smear campaigns kicked in. They didn't just assassinate Charlie Kirk. They made sure no one ever remembers what he actually stood for. And at the center of it all is Erika Kirk, the one person with the power to demand justice for her husband's brutal execution. But she won't. Instead, she's attacking anyone who questions the cover-up and calling them enemies in all the interviews.
I mean, we're carrying on Charlie's legacy, and there is so much noise. I know I've said this many times before, and there will always be noise. Whenever you are over the target, we're in enemy-occupied territory. There will always be noise, and there will always be people that will distract you. If myself or Charlie spent every single second going down and responding to every accusation, responding to every insult, responding to every judgment, we would get nothing done. We just wouldn't. And at the end of Nehemiah, he basically was saying, Lord, strengthen my hands. And so I feel the same way. Like, I'm not going to ask God to remove those people from my life. It just makes me stronger. So, Lord, instead of removing these people and this noise at the bottom of the hill while I'm trying to build, just give me stronger shoulders, give me stronger hands to keep building, because that's always going to be there. That's the enemy, and that's life. That's life.
In the comment section of my last video, I noticed something interesting. A lot of people agreed with me that Erika's behavior just wasn't normal. But a surprising number of people were really aggressive about one thing: stop talking about her. And honestly, that reaction alone made me want to dig even deeper. Because when people start demanding silence, that's usually where the real story begins. Now, most of you already know about Erika's family ties to the U.S. military and her strange past running a controversial nonprofit in Romania.
Kirk herself is another one. She's been tied to orphanages in Eastern Europe, specifically in Romania, through a program called Romanian Angels, since she was a teenager. When she was 17 years old, she founded Romanian Angels as a nonprofit. So in effect, since Erika's childhood, she's been running orphanages in Eastern Europe, a child trafficking hotbed. Is that normal activity for a 17-year-old girl to be involved with?
I've been able to travel to the Pentagon. I've been able to meet General Salazar, who's actually out here in Arizona. And so there's been a lot of things that have been going on, from working in the military.
That alone raised eyebrows. But many of you were shocked to learn that her ex-boyfriend, Cabot Phillips, didn't just know Charlie. He also appears to be positioning himself as a replacement figure. And here's where things get even weirder. Cabot Phillips is so obsessed with pizza that he literally tattooed the word on the inside of his lips back in 2019. Now, we all know what that word means, and I'm sure no sane person would tattoo it on their body after 2016. Charlie himself repeatedly warned that pizza was used as coded language by some of the most powerful and evil people in the world.
I'm also banned from the United Kingdom, the entire country, the UK. But that has nothing to do, we won't clap for that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Maybe someone during the Q&A, we'll get to it then. But yeah, good times.
So I think it becomes pretty clear why Erika suddenly started lying about her dating history.
But what I will say is, when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another.
Of course, the evidence says she is a liar because here's Cabot celebrating with her mother just 9 months before Erika started dating Charlie. And speaking of lies and performance, let's talk about her behavior after Charlie's death. Because at this point, I think most people can agree, she often looks like she's acting. One moment she's crying, the next moment she's smiling and talking about how Charlie's company is going to grow now that he's gone.
Love you, Erika. Charlie, 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 Charlie. Love you, Erika. Charlie, Charlie, Charlie.
What do you hope to achieve for Charlie and for the country?
Oh my goodness. All of his wildest dreams for this organization and more. He left me a blueprint in all of his journals, but more so than that, I was his vault for literally everything. He shared everything with me, his vision, his dreams, and I know now more than ever, I mean, he was always a hard worker, but now more than ever, he's up in heaven orchestrating and sitting and strategizing, and I can just feel it. I can feel it.
At first, like many of you, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Shock and grief can make people behave in strange ways. But after her recent interviews and statements, it's clear this isn't just shock. She's just built differently.
Despite the devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same gift. Grit. It has been a long day. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good. Speeches that no one's heard of. We have interviews that no one's heard of. We have stuff from Korea and Japan that no one's heard of.
Podcasts.
So, I mean, in the words of my husband, buckle up, because there is a lot of content to be had. And we have so many amazing things down the pipeline that we are working on currently that will
unveil in due time.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
Now here's the thing. No one would have cared about any of this if she hadn't taken over the single largest youth political movement in the country. And that's why people like me are asking one simple question. Why hasn't she gone after the government for blatantly covering up her husband's assassination? Because we know Charlie was in serious disagreements with powerful people.
And so he would react. Sometimes people would just say, yeah, don't invite him or we're going to, cut off some large donation. And that would make him angry. He would say this, as you say, this is moral blackmail. And he's this Scottish guy. He's combative. His reaction to that is, the classic, screw me, no, screw you, that sort of thing.
And we, the American people, ran on transparency. We deserve to see the entire client list. Every document the government has regarding the Epstein files, we, the American people, should have on an easy-to-access website immediately in a very, very quick fashion. I'm pushing for that both privately and publicly, just so you know.
And then, right before Epstein's files resurface, right before new wars escalate, Charlie Kirk is assassinated in front of the entire world. Almost like someone was sending a message. Now, I know there are a lot of wild theories floating around out there, but in all that noise, people forgot about the actual evidence. Why were security personnel removing items from the crime scene immediately after the shooting? Why did TPUSA producer Andrew Colvett claim a surgeon told him a 30-06 round somehow didn't exit Charlie's neck, only for that story to quietly fall apart later?
Absolutely, the bullet should have gone through, which is very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. Next up, that quotation continues. It was an absolute miracle that someone else did not get killed. His bone was so healthy, and the density was so impressive that he's like the Man of Steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him, too. And that seems strange for a lot of reasons. First off, HIPAA compliance. Why would he speak to Andrew Colvett? Also, never once did Dr. Lee Trotter say that Charlie's neck was stopped. Charlie's neck stopped a 30-06 bullet.
Let's be real. Saying the bullet stopped because of thick bones is insulting. They lied. And that lie alone casts a very dark shadow over this entire case. But here's what's even more disturbing. No one ever seriously questioned why Kash Patel shut down an investigation by Trump's own counterterrorism chief. An investigation into possible foreign intelligence involvement in Charlie's assassination. When you look at all of this, one thing becomes clear. At every step, Erika and her inner circle seem focused on one thing: making us forget what we saw with our very own eyes. Instead of protests, instead of demanding justice, they're busy running political campaigns for J.D. Vance.
That President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible.
And he shared everything with me. I knew his goals. I knew what his vision was for things. So this is not out of my orbit. This is not uncomfortable for me. And it's not, because I'm picking up a mantle that I understand and that I know that Charlie has entrusted to me, the team has entrusted to me, the Lord has entrusted to me, and I take that very seriously.
Meanwhile, the country keeps sliding in a very predictable and dangerous direction.
He felt very strongly we need it for we need Greenland for national security, not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it. And he wanted to lead the charge, so we're making him, Marco, today, a special envoy to Greenland.
But we can't take a chance after having done this incredible thing last night of letting somebody else take over, where we have to do it again. We can do it again, too. Nobody can stop us. There's nobody that has the capability that we have. You know, when I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on and everybody dying, and it's like, it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible.
I mean, didn't we vote against people like Lindsey Graham?
Would you know, one of the things that is happening, and I think you see it all the time, Howard, you've seen it, that Cuba is ready to fall. You know, yes. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about this.
So when TPUSA says 2025 was a year of, quote, immense loss and profound revival, I don't know what reality they're living in, because from where I'm standing, everything's been getting worse ever since a young father was executed for saying the wrong thing.